going to go right after dawn, right into lunch, and we'll get kind of quasi back on track. So while they finish setting up here, it's almost embarrassing having to introduce Dawn Song, because like I could just do that, could be the entire talk. Literal Genius Award winner, so MacArthur literal bona fide genius. I think the only crypto person I know in the last 50 years who has their work in a museum. Since go to the, I don't know if she'll even talk about that, but ask her. But kind of very early to adversarial AI red teaming, a lot of interesting things. Honestly, I think you should just listen to Dawn, and then I'll back off.
Okay. Thanks, Leo, for the introduction. And I actually just came back from Singapore. Just landed last night. I was ICLR, the top deep learning conference there. So I gave a keynote there, and so it's great to be back. Thanks everyone. Right, so my name is Dawn Song. I'm a professor at UC Berkeley, and also a faculty director of a campus-wide center called Berkeley Center for Responsible Decentralized Intelligence that works at the intersection of responsible innovation, decentralization, and AI. So today I'll talk about the impact of frontier AI on the landscape of cybersecurity. So we're all really excited about the fast advancement in frontier AI. And also this year is called the Year of the Agents, with many exciting agents just released. On the one hand, we have all these great, exciting advancements, but on the other hand, we also need to pay attention to that there is a broad spectrum of different types of AI risks. So these are three different categories of risks from this recent International AI Safety Report led by Turing Award winner Yoshua Bengio. I'm part of this report as well. It's a report actually written by about 100 leading AI researchers from 30 countries. So it's the first ever huge international collaboration on AI safety. There is this broad spectrum of different types of AI risks. But for me personally, I do strongly believe that actually cybersecurity will be one of the biggest AI risk domains for a number of reasons. So first, attackers already have diverse incentives for attacks. And also today, as we all know, attacks already cause huge issues. And also, recently, for example, we've seen this huge increase in AI capabilities in reasoning and coding. And all these increased AI capabilities can significantly reduce attack costs and increase attack scale. And also today, we are already seeing Gen AI causing attack increase, especially for attacking humans, like phishing, social engineering type of attacks, and so on, with actually orders of magnitude increase in, for example, phishing attacks. So the key question here is, how will frontier AI change the landscape of cybersecurity? So here we have, okay, there's something with the slides. We have traditional cybersecurity with the attackers and defenders, and traditional software system, which are symbolic programs written by humans. And with the frontier AI, both attackers and defenders will be armed with, will be assisted with frontier AI, and also the software system becomes more complex as well, which I call the hybrid software system, which contains both symbolic programs, now written by humans and AI, and also non-symbolic programs, which are like AI models, neural networks, and so on. So the key question is, AI as a dual-use technology can help both attacker side and defender side. So who will AI help more, attackers or defenders? So that's a key question that we'll explore in this talk. So recently, we have done some research and analysis for this question. And in particular, we use a marginal risk assessment framework to analyze essentially how will AI help on the attacker side and also the defender side. And also, we need to analyze the natural asymmetry between defense and offense as well. And in the end, I'll share some lessons and predictions. So first, on the attack side, how will misuse AI impact the attacks? So essentially, when we talk about attacks, there are two main categories: attacks on machines, computer systems, and also attacks on humans, for example, phishing, social engineering, and so on. So first, as we all know, attacks is really complex, and end-to-end successful attack oftentimes has many stages that we call the kill chain. So essentially, to be able to analyze the impact of AI on attack side, essentially we need to be able to analyze the impact of frontier AI at every stage of the kill chain. So my group actually was the first to actually use deep learning for program boundary analysis and vulnerability detection. So this is now actually quite a few years back. Also, we use graph neural networks to actually show that even back then, deep learning-based this approach actually achieved state-of-the-art for binary code similarity detection. And also using this approach, we were able to actually discover vulnerabilities in real-world program binaries. So fast forward now with the improved AI capability, we hope that, of course, AI can help, can do more. So in this recent Google Project Zero, they essentially reported the first public example of zero-day vulnerabilities in a software that's widely used in the real world, in SQLite. So these are some data points showing that frontier AI can help a lot in certain, at certain stages, for example, for vulnerability detection and so on. But however, when we actually look at some more end-to-end tasks, so here are the side bench for professional CTF tasks. So when we look at this, essentially what we are seeing as an example here, yes, these LLM agents today, they can solve some of these tasks, but however, their capability is still quite limited. So what you are seeing here is essentially the most challenging task the agent can solve only takes human like participants taking the fastest solve time is the fastest human is 11 minutes. Beyond this level, essentially the agents have difficulty solving the tasks. So basically now, if you look at comparing to the agents to the human, the agent can basically be as good as a human for solving like a task with 11 minutes. So in our recent work, we did a comprehensive analysis. We surveyed like several hundred papers, basically looking at the impact of frontier AI at different stages of the attack kill chain. And overall, what our analysis showed is that for actually almost all these stages, essentially the impact of frontier AI is still limited. There is a limited demonstration in the real world, mainly due to the limited capabilities of frontier AI, as some of these examples that I illustrated. But however, on the attacking human side, the story is very different. So as we all know, humans are the weakest link in cyber systems and in security systems, and also most of penetration and attacks starts with actually attacking on the humans. And also, today we are already seeing increasing sophistication and scale for Gen AI-caused social engineering attacks. So when we, so that's on the attack side. We also did the analysis on the defense side. And on the defense side, unfortunately, the story is actually even worse in the sense that actually the current frontier AI's capability and impact levels in the different stages of defense is even less. So for some of the stages, actually there is no demonstrated real world, no demonstrated effect at all, and some are mostly just at the stage of demonstrating in research, and the others just have limited demonstration in the real world. And again, this is largely due to still the current limitation with frontier AI capabilities. But however, we want to change that. With the advancement of frontier AI, we want to use AI to enhance, improve capabilities of defenders. However, given the dual use nature of AI, there is a significant challenge here. So here are examples that we show, we call equivalence classes. So basically, the same AI technology that can be used to improve a defense capability, it will actually be able to improve a corresponding attack capability. So this is what we call equivalence class. Essentially, at every stage, there are equivalence classes between defense capabilities and the corresponding attack capabilities. And given the dual-use nature of AI technology, this is a huge challenge that essentially the advancement of AI can help defense, but will also at the same time help offense. And to make things even worse, there's also a natural asymmetry between defense and offense. So when I talk to people, often I hear the following argument. Actually, we don't really need to worry. Defenders can use AI to discover and fix bugs before attackers. So then we don't have anything to worry about. Is this true or false?
False.
Okay. Okay, very good. Okay. Yes, I'm talking to the security community who has more experience with us. That's great. So for a number of reasons. So one, offense side only needs to find one attack that works, but for the defenders need to fix all bugs and prevent all attacks to succeed. And also, cost for defense is much higher than attacks. And deploying defenses, even when it works, can take a very long time. For example, for patches, we need to develop the patch, we need to do a lot of testing for the patch, then we need to deploy the patch globally. And a lot of legacy systems, even when patches have existed for a long time, they are still not patched. For example, there's estimates that the current mean time to deploy remediation in hospitals is close to 500 days. And also, furthermore, attackers can even learn about vulnerability and generate exploits using public information of patches without even having to find 0 days themselves. And they can exploit systems before they can be patched. So these are many reasons why then, there's this natural asymmetry that actually favors attackers over defenders. But that's just one example. So actually, there are many different types of asymmetries between attackers and defenders that actually favors attackers. So for example, cause of failures, attackers have much higher tolerance for failures. Even if some of their attacks fail, as long as some others succeed, then attackers still win. But for defenders, defenders have very low tolerance for failure. Failure to defender means that they have been attacked. And also there's different priorities of the scalability and reliability that actually helps attackers to leverage AI earlier than defenders. Attackers prioritize scalability over reliability. Even if the AI technology is not very reliable, they can use AI to help them scale up attacks. Again, even if some or most of them fail, as long as some succeeds, attackers still win. However, for defenders, they have trouble adopting AI early until AI can really be very reliable, because they need their system to be reliable. Otherwise, their system could even fail during normal operations. So these are just examples of how AI can actually, frontier AI advancement can favor attackers over defenders more. And also, as AI, with the AI deployments, as I mentioned earlier, actually the software system itself becomes more complex. We have, now they become these hybrid systems that integrate symbolic components and non-symbolic AI components, as I mentioned earlier. And this will introduce new marginal risks that we actually have no successful defense. So again, given the interest of time, I won't actually have time to talk about the new types of risks that these non-symbolic components introduces. As Leo mentioned earlier, like we've done a lot of work on adversarial deep learning and so on. Yes, with our artifacts being part of the permanent exhibit at the Science Museum of London and so on. So these all introduces significant challenges. So overall, the consequence of misuse AI in attacks is vast. Again, current misuse AI already, we have seen huge increase in scale in social engineering type of attacks. And going forward, misuse of frontier AI can completely change the attack landscape. They can help with every attack stage, apply to every attack domain in the attack landscape, can increase attacker capability, devise new attack methods and strategies, reduce resources and costs needed for attacks, and completely change the economic landscape of attacks, and can help automate large-scale attacks and make attacks more evasive and stealthier. So then the key question is, what can we do? How can we address this issue so that we can actually change this asymmetry between attackers and defenders? So overall, in the last few decades, including my own work and also the security community's work, the paradigm, we have had several paradigm shifts in terms of defenses. So in the beginning, the security community, we were all doing reactive defense, where essentially we developed approaches and solutions to detect attacks once they happen. For example, being able to detect malware and block malware. And then later on, we shifted to other paradigms. So here, so what I argue here is that for these different paradigms, so like first, this reactive defense actually can still help attackers more. So of course, the reactive defense can help improve attack detection and analysis. But however, there are a number of challenges. Attackers can also use AI in this case to make attacks more evasive, and attack detection needs to have low false positive and low false negative rate. And attack can also happen too fast using AI for effective response. And hence, with this type of paradigm, I would say AI may still help attacker more than defenders, and hence this is not going to help us much. So the second one is proactive defense using bug finding. And here also, as I mentioned already, this approach is still, AI can help attackers more than defenders, at least in the near term. So what I really want to emphasize here is that we hope that this third paradigm that the security community has moved to, and also my work has done, we have done a lot of work in the space as well, is secure and safe by design, or secure by construction. So the idea here is that we actually architect and build properly secure systems and programs in contrast to bug finding and attack detection reactive defenses. So essentially we can formally specify desired security properties and then using program verification to prove that the program or system actually satisfies the desired security properties. And in fact, I would say that we have entered into the area of formally verified systems. Overall, in the community, we have a number of these different formally verified systems, including microkernel compilers, file systems, and so on. But unfortunately, none of these systems has been widely used. The key reason is that it's really labor-intensive to do the program verification. For example, SEL4 took tens of proof engineer years to prove. And when you change the code, you have to change the proof again. So to address this issue, my group will have been among the first to use deep learning for theorem proving. So this is quite a few years back. This is our paper in collaboration with Ilya from OpenAI back then, showing that using deep learning, we can help automate certain steps in theorem proving. However, back then, the technology was still early. And we didn't have much compute, as much compute. So fast forward today, I do strongly believe that we are hitting an inflection point where with the advancement of frontier AI, I hope that we can significantly advance and help automate the theorem proving. So this is so we have a recent paper that actually lay out the roadmap for further advancing AI for formal mathematical reasoning and theorem proving. And essentially, given enough interest of time, I won't go into this, but you can go into the paper to see the details. And in the paper, we also lay out, again, as I mentioned, the roadmap. And we hope that in the next 5 years, we can bring the community together to advance AI for formal mathematical reasoning and theorem proving, where we can have collaborative open source efforts to develop systematic data benchmarks, data sets, algorithms, and tooling to really help automate theorem proving. So with this approach, we hope that we can build agents that's not only playing games like Go, but actually develop agents to do theorem proving to automate theorem proving for program verification. And when used in conjunction with the program synthesis, we can actually generate provably secure code instead of just generating code like today. So for example, today, a significant fraction of code has already been generated by AI, estimated to be 50% and soon to be 80%. So the question is how safe and secure is AI-generated code? In our recent work, we developed also systematic evaluation benchmark that showed that even the best model today, they actually generate significantly like a high rate of vulnerable code. They achieve the best in our evaluation, 55% secure coding rate. So then to address this issue, then instead of just generating code, we propose to generate a verifiable code generation. We're given a task description. We'll have code generation and also a spec generation, and then in the end, a proof generation proving that the code satisfies the desired specification. And with our work, we recently also developed the first benchmark for verifiable code generation. And with the evaluation of the current model, of course, they are still not quite there yet. But we hope that with the advancement of AI technology, again, and also with our development, so together with the community, we can enable frontier AI to automate theorem proving, and then in the end help with provably secure code. So with this, we hope that AI now finally can help defenders more than attackers using this secure by design, secure by construction approach to really shift the asymmetry. Of course, there are other open challenges. Again, given the interest of time, I won't be able to go into details. And this is also a part of the efforts together with other leading AI researchers, including Joshua Bengio, helping to build a quantitative AI safety foundation. And I just want to finally mention that so far I've talked about how we can use AI to help defend against attacks on machines. We also need AI to help defend against attacks on humans. And in fact, I argue here that essentially AI can provide the only defense against attacks on humans, given that we actually cannot upgrade a human brain and so on. So then I just want to conclude, AI will help attackers more at the beginning from our analysis. Current systems are already highly vulnerable and ill-prepared for AI-assisted attacks, and organizations and systems often only spend efforts and resources after seeing attacks and damages. As cost of attacks going down, we expect to see unprecedented increase in attacks, and the world was not prepared for pandemic such as COVID despite early warning, and attacks associated with AI can be much worse. So I just wanted to briefly share our lessons learned from another related domain in medical device security. So my group with our collaborators were the first to conduct the first medical device security analysis in the public literature and demonstrated critical vulnerabilities in medical devices such as defibrillators and so on. And back then, the FDA medical device approval process didn't even mention the word security. And only a few years later, and following our work and others' work, FDA changed its medical device approval process, issued guidance recommendation on medical device security. So the lesson here is that security space is complex. Frontier AI will have huge impact in cybersecurity, and it's important to learn from past lessons and act now. And in our paper, we also have some call to action for the community to come together to improve and leverage frontier AI to strengthen cybersecurity, including doing continuous risk assessment and monitoring for AI capabilities in cybersecurity and other defense enhancement approaches and as well. So in the end, I just wanted to, so you can scan this QR code if you are interested in reading the paper. And also we have a survey. We would love to have you participate. So please, you can scan the QR code and fill in the form. And also, if you are interested in learning more about agents, we are running MOOC, Massive Open Online Course, on agents. We have over 23,000 enrolled, so you can go to this website to join. And also, finally, we also have a competition right now, Agent X. It has an entrepreneurship track and a research track. So again, you can scan this QR code to find out more information. We'd love to have you join. And this is sponsored by many leading tech companies and also VCs. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, San. Yeah, personally, it was great seeing your benchmarks. Like when we went out there, and for folks who missed the morning, I think you might need to update the slide and change it from 11 minutes to 45 minutes. But we have raised the bar significantly on that one. But I'm wondering if folks have any one question for Don before we go to lunch.
I just want to say thank you for the research contributions and the papers you guys provide, because that helps us actually implement these things. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
So if no other, I'll ask one that I was kind of biting my tongue on. So it was great seeing all the program synthesis for proof generation. So secure, like automating secure code, like we write a lot of code. What was kind of the most interesting case where an AI generated a secure code proof or something analogous, that anywhere you were surprised or just found interesting?
I see. Okay. Oh, so right now it's very early stage. So as I showed in our benchmark, this verifiable code generation, actually the code is very, very small. We are really talking about like tiny, code. So we are not there yet. But the hope is that as AI capabilities improves, we can really scale this up.
Awesome. Yeah, on our side, we're definitely thinking about AI generating playbooks and AI agents writing themselves. Like John on his panel, he was kind of alluding to that. So it's definitely very interesting. Like, how do we do back testing and everything? Cool. Yeah, go for it.
So I'm curious. Yeah, it's a great talk. So I'm curious about what's your prediction on the job market. Like, what job will disappear and which job will get more?
That's a very good question. Are you talking about just within security, or are you talking about overall?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So I think that's related to what I mentioned. Essentially, we need to analyze the impact of frontier AI in the different stages of defense. So right now, of course, we are not there yet. And in fact, I think if anything, we need more help, especially given the attacks. There's, our predictions that attacks are coming and increasing in scale and so on. But yeah, that's a good question. Going forward, when the AI capability really increases, it's not just about jobs in security, it's about overall jobs in, if we talk about software, software engineering and so on. I guess people do talk about it even now, like for junior engineer, I think, like job posting has decreased and so on. But we certainly hope that, at least in the near future, we have the AI can help humans. But going forward, we'll have to see.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, maybe this is a call for people to learn Python and learn agents so that they're the maker of the agent, not getting replaced by the agent. Awesome. Well, yeah, let's. So thank you again to Don, and let's have lunch.
Thank you.
For folks who are online.